Hello and welcome to the Corona Yoga Challenge. And it is an absolutely beautiful day here, absolutely gorgeous. Long may it last, unlike this, which of course is still lasting, and we're still going up at our normal steady rate of cases. When you are practicing, before you do, please check my website for health issues and keeping yourself safe and extra resources that you might like. Do subscribe to YouTube because that way you'll definitely get the updates on time in case somebody is a little bit late. And today we're going to do a practice where we are lying down. So if you want to bring yourself to lying onto the floor with your knees bent up. So you're just going to find a nice comfortable patch on the floor. So you're going to lift your hips and then settle your hips back down and onto the ground so that the arms can lengthen away and we can get a feeling of the pelvis beginning to spread and widen on the floor. From here you're going to draw the back of your waist down onto the floor and then you're going to lengthen. So there's a little bit of space, you can just check it. You'll probably be able to slide your hand underneath your waist. If you find there's loads of space under the back of your waist, it means you're probably overarching a little bit. So then we're going to go back and forth. So the back of the waist comes down to the floor and then lifts gently away from the floor. You can start to do this with your breathing. So you breathe out and take the back of the waist onto the floor. The tummy draws back, the diaphragm lifts up. And inhaling, rolling slightly lower towards the tip of the spine. Back of the waist lifts, chest opens. And we're going to go back and forth with a couple of breaths. So go with your rate of breathing, just rocking back and forth. Remembering that as your waist comes down to the floor, the pelvic floor lifts up at the same time as the tummy draws back. So we get that two-way action or three-way action within the body. So nice, steady, even breathing. And then bring yourself to comfortable and neutral. You're going to lift one leg up towards the ceiling. You're going to keep your leg a little bit soft to start with. And you're going to make little circles out in whichever direction you would like. And then circling round in the opposite direction. You're going to bring your hands onto your leg. So it might be on your thigh, it might be on your knee, it might be on your calf. And you're going to just gently draw your leg in towards you. So you're pressing down with the hip on the side of the lifted leg. You're lengthening up through the lifted leg and you're extending up through the heels up towards the ceiling. And your hands are just as a guide. So it's important that they can just gently guide your knee in towards you. You're going to release your leg down and we're going to come to the opposite side. So first of all, leg lifts up and we're going to make those little circles. So just comfortable, easy circles round in one direction. And then back in the opposite direction. You're going to bring your leg to nice and even. You're going to start to lift up through the heels so we get that feeling of lengthening up through the leg. Toes can slightly draw towards you. Knee is going to start to lengthen and extend. And you can bring your hands somewhere onto your leg so that you can just gently draw your leg in. So it's just a gentle movement. We're still breathing evenly. For as long as you can breathe evenly, you can just keep working a little bit stronger. But as soon as your breathing becomes a little bit constricted or a little bit less smooth, it's a really good indication you need to soften a little bit. And then bringing your foot down and onto the floor. Again, you're going to let your hands come wide. You're going to lift your legs up. And you're going to crisscross your legs, one and then the other. And then you're going to let your right leg come over the top. You're going to cross your legs as high up as possible. And then you're going to take your right leg, you're going to see if it's happy to wrap around the back of the left leg. Both legs are going to draw towards horizontal to the floor, and you can gently extend your knees away if you can keep the tummy drawing back slightly and the pelvic floor slightly lifted. You're going to unwrap your legs And then left leg is going to come over the top. So left leg crosses over, left leg wraps around the back of the other if it would like to. Might be it just wants to stay wide. From here, you're going to draw your legs towards horizontal to the floor, and you're going to extend your legs away just a touch. This is a really nice way to stretch off through the hips, and it keeps the back of the pelvis very, very even. And then you're going to extend your legs all the way up towards the ceiling, and you're going to give your feet a little bit of a move around. And then if you take both feet onto the floor, you're going to be right up on the balls of your feet. You're going to soften out across the shoulders, and then you're going to let your knees just gently start to ease over towards the floor on one side. And you're keeping the toes or the parts of your feet touching the floor, so we're just keeping contact with the floor, and you're just letting your body move around to wherever it would like to move to. So shoulders stay soft, body is relaxed, and we've got a lovely movement across the hip on the floor, up across the diaphragm area, over the opposite side to the opposite shoulder. So we've got a really big diagonal across the body, which we're stretching out across. Stay nice and active in your feet. You're going to bring your knees back up to the centre, and then you're going to rock across the balls of the feet to let the knees come over in the opposite direction. So they might come the same distance, they might be slightly different. Again, down through the hip that's on the floor, up and across the diaphragm, over the rib cage, and down through the opposite shoulder. So we've got a really lovely movement, a really lovely diagonal that we're extending across the front of the body. Make your feet nice and active. You're going to bring your knees back up to the centre. And you're going to bring your knees in towards you. So you're going to hug your knees in nice and close so that the back of the body widens, the tailbone slightly lifts, and the back should feel really comfy. And then if you bring yourself onto one side, take a moment to just rest and to notice how your body is in this moment. And then when you feel ready, if you bring yourself up and to comfortable sitting. And if you just bring yourself to somewhere where you can sit easily and you feel nice and settled. So we've done our little bit of work with lying in the shoulders, lying in the hips. We're going to do a little bit with the shoulders. So you're going to take one hand onto the floor. You're going to let your other hand stretch up and overhead. And then you're going to bend your arms, settle it onto the back of your body. And then you're going to spiral yourself around towards your backhand, but you're keeping that feeling of lift through the diaphragm, up and underneath the rib cage as you come round. Bring yourself back into the centre, and then let your hand come out. And you're going to come to the opposite side. So arm lifts up and then settles onto the back of your shoulder blade if it's comfortable. Could be back of your head if that feels better. You're going to start to lift up through this elbow and extend out and round as you spiral into the tummy, into the rib cage, into the shoulder. Bringing yourself back into the centre. Extend out with both arms. Give your shoulders a little bit of a move around, so you just ease out with the shoulders. And then if you just bring yourself to comfortable sitting, so we can do a little bit of our breathing. So, what have I got down for us today? I'm not sure if I agree. I think we're going to do this instead. So you're going to let your hands settle in towards your heart. You're going to let your hands settle in towards your heart, and as you breathe, you're going to get a feeling, not that this area is expanding a great deal, but that there's a sense of energetic expansion. So that it's more a feeling that you can fill into the area inside of your rib cage so that you can make space for your heart within there. So you probably notice that still the main areas of the body are making the most movement as you breathe, but we're focusing on breathing in and letting the heart expand, letting the heart feel that little bit wider, or as if it has more space. You can feel a little bit like as you're breathing in, it's almost like the heart is lifted just a little bit. And that feeling is a kind of physical feeling, but it also relates to that energetic sense of something that just lifts your heart a little bit. And then just let your gaze settle down and onto the floor, or let your eyes close. Take your hand away from your heart if you would like, so that you can rest easy. So that you can notice this moment and enjoy this moment. So that is the start of my challenge for you today. My challenge for you today is to try a little bit of meditation. So a little bit for you might be that you just sit and look at a flower and just to quiet and keep gently bringing your mind back to looking at that flower. It could be that you sit and meditate for 10 minutes. It could be that you sit and meditate for half an hour. Whatever feels appropriate for you, but just seeing if you can find that time in today where you can find a little bit of time to come back to that feeling of being able to still a little bit. It's not that you're making yourself still, it's that you're allowing yourself a moment in time where you just gently keep bringing your mind back to one thing. So when I'm doing it, I tend to bring my mind back to my heart and just breathing easily into that area. But it might be a different area for you if you already have a practice. And my quote for you today is from Seneca. If you really want to escape the things that harass you, what you're needing is not to be a different place, but to be a different person. If you want to escape the things that harass you, what you're needing is not to be in a different place, but to be a different person. So it really ties into meditation in that when you have a meditation practice and you do that regularly, even if it's a small amount and you gradually increase, it will tend to bring a different quality to your life. So even if it's just that you consider that you might do that one day. Thank you very much, and I hope you have a peaceful and rather glorious looking day like I've got here. Thank you.